This is Quick Recap, and today we bring you a chilling tale that will make your skin crawl. Let's dive into one of the creepiest horror stories you've never heard before. The story begins with a group of young boys riding their motorcycles through a dense forest. As they ventured deeper, they noticed an old rusty truck parked along the path. Curiosity got the better of them, and they slowly approached it, unaware that the truck belonged to one of the most terrifying monsters in America, the Creeper. Luke, one of the boys, recklessly threw a stone at the truck's window. But it wasn't ordinary glass, it bounced back and hit him on the head. Meanwhile, another boy named Kirk opened the truck's rear door. What they saw inside froze them in fear. A large white bag, clearly containing a human corpse. As Kirk moved closer, a foul stench hit him. Suddenly, the truck's door slammed shut on its own. Terrified, the boys jumped onto their bikes and fled. But just then, a sharp rope with a blade at its tip shot out from the back of the truck and pierced Kirk's leg. His friends didn't abandon him, they helped him up and tried to call for help. But there was no signal in the forest. They attempted to pull the blade out, but it was deeply embedded. Worse yet, the rope started pulling Kirk back toward the truck. One of the boys panicked and fled on his red bike, but the others stayed with Kirk. In seconds, he was dragged back to the truck. Just then, a corpse dropped from the sky, and before they could react, the Creeper, a winged demon, landed on the truck's roof. The terrified boys ran for their lives. The Creeper jumped down, opened the truck, summoned a massive spear, and hurled it with deadly precision, impaling both fleeing boys in one strike. After their painful death, he calmly retrieved the spear and stored it, ready for his next victim. He soon sensed the scent of another human, the fourth boy who had escaped earlier. Using his heightened senses, he tracked and killed him too. We then learned that the Creeper awakens every 23 years to hunt for 23 days. Later, the police discovered the truck and opened its back, finding rotting corpses and bones. An officer reached inside, triggering a hidden trap that sliced off his arm. Sheriff David was shocked, realizing this old truck was filled with deadly traps. Soon, more police vehicles arrived, including a special task force led by Captain Dan, assembled by the government specifically to capture the Creeper. As they examined the truck, a blade-wired rope lashed out again, nearly killing Dan. No one dared go near the truck after that. David informed Dan that 3 officers and several civilians had already been killed by the Creeper. Moments later, they learned the truck had been towed away. Dan was furious. He knew the Creeper would stop at nothing to reclaim it, putting the tow truck driver Frank in grave danger. They contacted Officer Dana and Frank, but it was too late. The Creeper appeared, broke the chains in one strike, and reclaimed his truck. Strangely, the truck moved without a driver. Laughing, the Creeper left without harming them, but soon returned. This time, he leapt down from the sky and snatched Frank. Dana aimed her gun, but the Creeper signaled it was useless. He flew away with Frank as Dana stood helplessly. Next morning, we see an old woman, Gillian, looking at a tree near her home. She saw the ghost of her son Kenny, who died 23 years ago when the Creeper last awoke. Kenny had once witnessed the Creeper abduct a man and later found the monster's severed hand, which he buried under the tree. Now the Creeper was back to reclaim that hand. Kenny's ghost warned Gillian to leave town with his niece Addison, or she would be the next victim. Addison later went to buy feed for her horse, but the shopkeeper refused due to unpaid dues. Feeling hopeless, she left, but the shopkeeper's son Buddy, who liked her, decided to help. He stole feed for her without his father's permission. Addison was embarrassed but accepted and promised to repay him. As Buddy helped carry the feed to the barn, they saw terrified horses running. The farmer nearby was panicked. Workers were hiding under a tank. Something horrible had just happened. Suddenly, a bloodied man banged on their car window. Before they could react, a dark shadow loomed overhead, the Creeper. He had returned for more victims. Buddy and Addison heard the tank crash and knew he was close. They tried starting the truck, but it failed. The Creeper sensed fear, especially from Addison. He flew down, sniffed her scent, and realized she was his true target. With a scream that shattered glass, he attacked, smashing through the window and toppling the truck. Before Buddy could react, the Creeper took Addison and threw her into the back of his truck. Inside, Addison saw Kirk, still alive but wounded. They recognized each other and planned to escape before the Creeper returned. Kirk knew the rear exit was trapped, so he tried the front. But when he touched the handle, a spear shot out and killed him instantly. Back at the farmhouse, Gillian tried to understand what happened to Kenny 23 years ago. Ignoring the ghost's warnings, she dug up the Creeper's hand and placed it on a table. It still moved. As she reached out, it grabbed her, lifting her into the air. Her eyes turned white and body twisted unnaturally. Meanwhile, Dan and David were preparing to face the Creeper. A team member named Michael brought a massive gun capable of firing 6,000 rounds per minute. They hoped this would finally kill the monster. After regrouping, they began the hunt. Gillian called them, revealing she had seen the Creeper's true origin by touching his hand, but refused to tell them what she saw. Curious, Dan touched the hand too and passed out. His body also contorted, and when he woke up, he said nothing. Soon after, Michael reported a flipped car on Highway 9, a sign the Creeper had struck again. They rushed there and saw the creeper's truck. David fired at its tires, but they were bulletproof. Every shot bounced back dangerously. Then the creeper threw a bomb toward them. Dan swerved and avoided it, but it was a homing device. David shot it midair, destroying it. Michael then attacked with his special gun, but Dan warned him not to. Bullets would ricochet. Michael didn't hear and fired, only to be killed by his own bullets. Another bomb flipped Dan and David's vehicle, though they survived. The creeper, now approaching, honked madly. David stepped out with a rifle, ready for the final showdown. Creeper flew toward him with an axe. David shot, knocking off the monster's hat and raging him. When he tried to fire again, the creeper spat a dart, disabling David's gun. Just as the creeper was about to kill him, Dan fixed Michael's gun and fired. Bullets rained down, but the creeper charged at him anyway and beheaded Dan with his axe. David fled. Night fell. Gillian, sure the creeper would return, readied her shotgun. Buddy arrived, telling her Addison had been taken. Inside the truck, Addison pretended to be dead under a white sheet, but the creeper saw through it. As he prepared to kill her, she cleverly triggered a trap, impaling his head with a spear. One eye popped out as he shrieked in pain. Addison escaped, running fast. The creeper chased but was shot mid-flight by Dan before he died, damaging his wing. Still, he tried throwing his rope blade but missed. He then hurled a dart, but it deflected off a rock. Furious, he launched his last weapon, which hit Addison's jacket, making her fall. As he charged to finish her, a truck hit him, saving her life. Humiliated, the creeper took revenge by killing the truck driver and healing himself. He returned to Gillian's house to retrieve his hand. He found it buried with a message, "I know what you are." Enraged, the creeper destroyed his own severed hand. Now, with only a few days left before his 23-year slumber, the creeper decided to hunt bigger prey and left Addison alone for now. In the final scene, Buddy and Gillian reunite with Addison. Buddy hugs her, and the two finally express their love as the nightmare ends for now. If you enjoyed this dark and thrilling recap, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Quick Recap for more gripping stories. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the creeper.